Welcome to this special bonus episode of the Passive House podcast. I'm Zach Semke, Director of Passive House Accelerator, and we're happy to be sharing a series of bonus episodes recorded in Hamilton, Ontario at the Passive House Canada Conference 2023. These interviews were conducted by Mary James, our Director of Publications, and Michael Ingui, our founder. A big thank you to Euroline Windows for underwriting this special series. Please enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Ingui from the Passive House Accelerator, and I'm having a great time at Passive House Canada, and I'm here with a wonderful guest for the Passive House podcast. What's your name, and tell me a little about yourself.
Sure, my name is Chris, and I'm with the company Soukup America, and we're basically a equipment company that help a prefab factory to plan their factory and also supply them equipment so that they can make the walls and panels and modular units.
Cool. Yeah, so I was on your site earlier, and because I kind of knew what you did, but I didn't really know what you did. And the site's cool; everybody should visit it. But I mean, give me a couple of examples of some of the companies you've done work with.
Sure. Yeah, we work with any company in the U.S. and Canada. Mm-hmm. There are a few of them are like BC Passive House, Tech Panels, NRB, who make modular units for the city of Vancouver as part of the housing support in the city of Vancouver. And then in the States, there are a few like Method Homes in Ferndale, Washington, and really across the U.S. And they use machines from cross-cutting lumber all the way to really framing the walls, flipping the table, and then also standing them up and install windows and door, for example, and then ship them out. And some factory, like I said, is building modular units.
Cool. Yeah. So I'm a person who's totally into prefab. I want to open my own factory. I've got my space. I call you. Do you help me figure out what I should be, what kind of tools and machinery I should be putting in? Like, how do you help people when they come to you?
Yeah, perfect. The first thing that we want to ask is, what would you like to build at your factory? Mm-hmm. And we treat the factory as a system, and we want to know what it goes out first. What would you like to make, and how would you like to deliver your product? Cool. So that's the first thing. And then the second, we go into what's the input? What kind of material you're going to come in with? Perhaps there's some factory that you already have panel coming in and you're just assembling as a modular. Perhaps that you start with the 2x4s and 2x6s, and then you need to cross-cut them, and then you need to build them. There's some factory that perhaps want to do also ceiling and floors. Cool. And most of them are just doing panels. So yeah, we want to start the conversation, and we want to treat it as a system. And then the next conversation is the when and where. And like you said, if you have a factory, okay, is there any construction inside the factory? Are there columns in between your factory? Do you have cranes already? So part of what we do is we want to study that and to make sure that you are going to have a effective or efficient factory production with minimal interruption. For example, using the crane sometimes is interrupting. If you have 4 people working on the framing table, and if you have to stand down because the crane is moving, and that lasts for 2 minutes, 2 times 4, that's quite a bit of time for just that duration. So we want to optimize each station as a system. We want to know what's coming in, what you want to do in the middle, and what's going out, so that then at the end of the day, we design the load balancing system across your system, and hopefully at the end of the day, what goes in and what goes out is what you expect at the end of the year.
Cool. And now, let's talk about the state of prefab, because I'm talking to someone who's you've seen multiple factories. Yeah. You've seen what the input is, what the output is. Where do you think it's at now? Are we in infancy? Are we in the middle point? Like, where do you think we are? 1 and 2. If you had a crystal ball, where are we going?
Oh, wow, okay.
You like that?
Like that.
I could have warned you, but
No, it was great. Great question. We definitely see an uptick. We've been in this space, in Europe anyway, for like 10 years, as far as the equipment and design and so forth. And in North America since 2017. Actually, a little bit earlier than the project, but the company no longer around. But the equipment itself has been around since 2017 in North America. So we're seeing definitely an uptick in the marketplace in the last few years. There's a lot more manufacturers coming in as new manufacturers, and also a lot of people coming in as the vertical integrators. So they're builder themselves, and then they also want to make the panels and walls themselves.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
So how many of those folks are coming in?
There's definitely an increasing amount of people asking those questions at the moment.
I like that because it's one thing. So you're already a builder. You're already constructing. You already kind of know what you like and dislike, what you do well, what you don't do well, and now you're going to either build panels and or install them.
That's right. Yeah. So it's in a way it's not necessary. It's not a way to like corner a market per se. There's plenty of jobs and space in the housing. I think the market is, including the builders, including the finance industry, want to control the risk, right? So if you're able to control your production further upstream, then you can control what's out of your factory. So I think that's the interest and investment there.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah, so that's a lot of that. So as far as the space growth is concerned, I think, and that's one of the reasons why I'm here at the Passive House event, is I want to see more of this happening into the integration of the two. In the prefab and high performance. And a lot of people already starting doing it, a lot of cities are doing that already. And it's not just your 2x4, 2x6 panels and not just passive house wall, but we're talking also about mass timber integration. We're talking about the importance of connection system between the ceiling and floor, and of course having a contiguous layers, air tightness, and all that concepts, right? So I think the connection system is also very important. And the other thing is also DFMA, design for manufacturing and assembly. So that is a very important topic in our industry, and it's very fast growing. So that is really is now. It's not just future.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot more company needing those skills, and really joining. Also, is a collaborative effort. It's really joining the people who know joinery, who knows carpentry, and also integrate them into, for example, operating a CNC machine. So, and that is, we see the importance part of that, and I think that is what the company will be successful in the future.
So if I'm thinking about this, if I'm a young person, I'm in school, or I'm a high school kid and I don't want to go to school, I want to build. I mean, I want to join a trade program, or I'm a young carpenter working for another contractor. I mean, I could see this as my significant ticket for many years to come. I mean, this is going to breathe a whole new life into that trade. I mean, not that that trade needed it. We need more skilled carpenters already.
That's right.
And I think what you're saying is not only do we need more skilled carpenters for your typical, stick built and whatever I'm describing. I mean, I'm in the renovation market. I think what you're saying is we need that, plus we need more skilled labor to do this. And what's interesting about what you're describing, it feels like there's a lot of upward mobility there, because we're talking about systems that are not yet in place.
That's right, yeah. And the school systems are doing a lot of schools, for example, in Canada, UBC, BCIT in the West Coast, for example, right? And these schools are growing our future and really coming in from a standpoint of the new technology and new knowledge. But we also have the existing workforce that also can integrate with the new ones, who are coming in with skills that we may not have before 20 years ago, 30 years ago. What is DFMA 30 years ago? We don't know what that is, but someone is doing something in some form of shape. Maybe it's an Excel table, and today it could be 3D modeling. Right? So, but the knowledge that we grow, let's say in Passive House, the principles, we can use PHCC, for example, to help us to calculate things, right? And we need to have that knowledge. We need to have the building science knowledge and use the technology and be able to under technology in Excel, and we need to understand tools to be able to integrate those knowledge and make it real in real life, and make that, and then having, of course, the builders and the contractors actually make them happen, and following the drawings that is being planned in advance, and so that at the end the product can be tested and certified.
Yeah, it's smart.
So it's a lot of integration.
Yeah. So you brought up schools. Let's talk about it a little bit more, because it's something that's come up with me in a few conversations here, where at one point I think people were asking in the community, when are the schools going to start teaching this in school? And I talked to someone earlier who is talking about one school who's doing it. You just mentioned a few others. Tell me more about that. Like, what are they teaching?
Yeah, they're teaching anywhere from like, if it's really a starting trade school, it could be teaching your beginning carpentry. It could be just a red seal program.
So you're talking about BCIT, right?
BCIT, for example. Yeah. And then we also have, industry supporting and organization supporting training, such as, again, the BCIT is, with the Passive House Canada, before it was CanFi, to have this program for tradesperson certification. Right. So, and of course, Passive House Canada also has its own training as well. So there's multi-level training. And really, if we go back a little bit, even from high school, we have to decide what to do then. Trade school should be deserving of more recognition. And also, it's really not just about wood, not just about learning about building science. It's about integrating our accountants, our bankers, our lawyers, and any skills like happen in a business.
I mean,
you're not her business owner.
I hear you. Yeah. So I mean, I've seen that firsthand with both my kids. I mean, Justin is going to school for opera. Dylan is kind of continuing in urban technology, so he's probably kind of staying a little bit more into the space. But they have both learned stuff that they can't unlearn anymore because they've been around the whole passive house world, both of them. So no matter what they do in life, no matter what house they buy in the future, no matter what conversation, they know that this is possible already. So you're right, getting them in high school, and honestly, these are two high school kids who were able to learn it in high school. So it's not technical, and it cannot be unlearned.
That's right.
I also have a lot of high school kids who are, they're on fire already. Like they know we've got an issue. And so giving them something to really think about where, hey, these are some solutions, and for you, opportunities.
That's right. Yeah, the opportunity is what is exciting for me. It's about not just putting the knowledge and the person to a corner, because we all have a lot of knowledge by ourselves, but how do we integrate and organize ourselves? And I think Passive House Canada, for example, and Passive House Institute in general, organize their website, organize the information so it's in a digestible format. So just like business owners and builders and so forth have to integrate the whole entire factory or labor, but everyone has to work well together. Project managers, civil engineers, designers, architects, and all the way in the field to install and to certify, to test. So it's all together. Yeah, one last thing I want to say is it's just in that education side. I'm very excited about contributing to education, and I think for your listeners, if they are seeking education, whether they're just in high school or all the way to if you're just in the industry, whatever industry you're in for a long time, go learn about building science. Go look at the open space, go to the Passive House Accelerator, learn something new that you didn't know before. Connect and talk to somebody that you didn't know before and get excited about it because this is our future. This is our future. So I'm excited to be here. And my name is Chris. My company is Soukup America, and our web address is soukupamerica.com.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Chris Chan, Passive House Canada Conference, and that's a wrap.
Great.
Thank you.